Ratnabali had always nursed an intention to combine performative and non-performative visual arts. That intention was there. Back in 1986, when she was in Athens, she had done a show in which she used her body, painted her body to present herself not as a dancer, not as a dance thing, but as a bodily performance. That thing again came back with a new force in 1991. It was coming. When she had already started putting painting and sculpture together, putting differently done sculptures, differently done paintings together, when she had placed pieces of cloth on her sculpture, she was trying to break out for greater expressiveness. This thing finally came in form of herself performing with the work she had done, whether a sculpture or a painting. She presented herself and interacted with the sculptures and the paintings she had put up. It is a new kind of thing. It's a performative visual art, which cannot be called a dance, nor can be called a theatre, but a thing which involves dance, theatre, painting, sculpture, everything together. It's a presentation, a new kind of presentation, which she first did in 1991, but never looked back. She continued with it from then on for last over than a decade. She has been practicing it with new intentions, new kind of presentation each time. The way she was experimenting, she was destined to go beyond the space just around an object of art she has created. She was now on the verge of creating a total space, almost a total social space in which she would place her work, and the whole place would get enlivened by the placement of the individual objects of art, be it a painting or a sculpture or an isolated piece of made up thing, should all include in a meaningful arrangement in space. While working with formally untrained people, Ratnabali learned that there are elements in various activities of people uncontaminated by our civilizational efforts, which can be used effectively to express great thoughts. In fact, she had already started realizing that in the way people celebrate certain occasions ritually, in the manner in which people perform certain rituals, there are elements of great expressive quality. Not only that, it's not only in their movement, but the things that people use, the things they would make for observing certain rituals have great expressive values if they can be rearranged properly, if they can be rearranged with a certain new thought. These rituals can be used as expressive language itself. And that kind of thinking led Ratnabali to do a ritual installation performance in 1996 in Delhi at the Kamani Auditorium, in which she picked up lots of things which she would arrange in her way to evoke memory of certain kind of rituals. She would do ritual drawings along with arrangements of things in certain way to present the ritual drawings in a new configuration, to put forward her own statement. And along with that, she would perform almost a ritualistic act, though not belonging to any particular ritual. It would evoke a ritualistic association, and she did the whole thing, whole performance and the whole arrangement of things, whole arrangement of drawing in such a manner that it would evoke memory of a ritual without being a ritual. And that was the strength of the whole performance. And this performance had a far-reaching effect on performing artists in several different fields. Dancers would take things from it, would learn something from it, and she really came of age with this kind of performance.
Good is this art. It suits us. Be too sure that in your life, restricted, regulated, prosaic, spectacular, horrible things don't happen. know and try to find out who I was. An obstacle was there, distorting the actions and manner of my life. An obstacle was there to stop me when I would begin to speak. My most unnoticed actions, my most valid creation,
In 1996, Ratnabali presented a work which was basically a configuration of several drawings, paintings, writing, and three-dimensional work in different media, which she presented personally as her own overview of the history of civilization. It is her overview of history of civilization with rudiments of evidences from different civilizations to support her view, but it's basically her concern with facts of human development and her presentation of evidences of human development in form of visuals which are of interest.
A time will become when there will be no art, only artists. And in this digital civilization of the future, anybody can be an artist.
And Ratnabali is one person who does not believe in the conventional definition of fine arts or visual arts. I mean, it's not just the canvas and the brush and the easel. She believes in fusing different disciplines. Herself, a very proficient dancer, and she's also been involved in theatre. She tries to incorporate and fuse these different experiences in creating something visual and performative art, which in fact she has been the first one to start in this country, and now we have a lot of younger people also following in her footsteps. So I think it should be a very exciting experience for all of us in Calcutta to get an experience to see her. So I welcome her and I welcome all of you. And now
shall we fear the destruction of our culture because a 30-year-old woman from Chandigarh plans to rent her home? The earth is small and grey. I'm a little dot in it. The earth, the rain, the green, unaware of history's dark patches. That cloudless silence.
a way of warrior. is an ensemble of dots and broken lines in a map, making a whole space. In this, there are the sketches of a woman faced with the temptation to become a surrogate mother, raising the gender issue of male dominance and wounded femininity. Then there is the making of a circle, making a kind of home space which is filled with a few things: a male torso as a shield, a painted womb on it, and a sari. Another space filled with earth, rain, and trees in dots of color, small and large, takes shape on the other side of the floor as if a woman is seeking a place in the world. The next dot in our space rewinds time back to Calcutta, 1970, in Death of a Book, through an installation. And this envisages a book, a robe, and red water and glass pot, which is covered with a veil of memory. At the end of the performance, the act expresses how a frail woman gradually becomes stronger, a sheet of glass, the rigors of existence.
The earth is small and grey. I am a little dot in it. Nirmala intends to rent her womb for an infertile couple to raise money for her invalid husband's medical bills. This unconventional plan seems to have woken everyone up to all the possible social, ethical, moral, and legal implications. Kunti, out of curiosity, tried the spell and invoked the sun god. The shining god descended in a great blaze of gold. Kunti trembled with fear. She covered her face with her hands and begged him to go back. But the light of the universe got her with a child.
I am a Devadasi. I am married to Lord Jagannatha. I wake up the god every morning, feed him, clothe him, and put him to bed in the night. Dekhibo para asare prasangini Shivansi dhara besaku Dekhibo para asare
digital womb, there will be no question of identity. The question of identity will be irrelevant.
अंडा है अंडा। नंबर लिखा है, क्या क्या नंबर लिखा है? 7।
नहीं, मैं आपको दिखाऊंगा एक चीज। मैं सबसे पहले क्या नंबर बोलूंगी?
आप बताओ।
Great is Buddha. Great is your teaching. Great, worthy of a God. Not yet me. I do not go your way. The accession to negation. I want to find myself through the button of pain. If you cannot shape your life the way you want, at least try as much as you can. The sun is sinking every day.
ऊपर उठाइए, लाइट थोड़ा ऊपर उठाइए। ये आप कर लो, बाउंस दो, बाउंस। लाइट थोड़ा ऊपर उठाइए। ये आप कर लो, बाउंस दो, बाउंस। Light on the evidence. Some black color on the one.
The division of land.
If at this stage one is asked to enumerate about the themes which have so far engaged Ratnabali's attention, then one can perhaps say that Ratnabali had an ongoing involvement in the themes of life circle from birth to death, in violence, especially violence against women, and in women's reaction to violence. Probably no other single theme, although she has done work on other themes as well, but probably no other single theme can demand as close an attention as these three while we are reviewing Ratnabali's work in retrospect. In fact, Ratnabali was asked to do a performance installation by the organizers of the Millennium exhibition in Calcutta a few years back, and she presented a performance installation which was on the theme of life circle and as also on the theme on death by destruction. Now, incidentally, it coincided with her reading about the millennium that was ending. Probably it is her reading that the millennium saw more violence, more death, and more reaction against violent death than any other millennium preceding. To feel the pain of the earth in one's own body is a great moral act. In response to that kind of pain, if one can create art, that art of great aesthetic value. Because here personal morality, it becomes the determinant factor of the art produced. That is perhaps what Ratnabali tried to do in the performance she presented in Jamia Millia a few years back. In that presentation, her aim was to a visual of a pain caused by a factor in public sphere. The pain which led her to bleed public was and happening in the public sphere which led to a catharsis in which her body was the actor. So this is a great thought giving birth to an act of art.
God is like a womb. Out of God, we are born. And back into God, we dissolve. He is our birth, and He is our death. He is like an ocean. He weaves us, and we become His waves. He absorbs us, and we disappear.
Socially and politically, we today have little cause to celebrate the life we are leading. But life must go on. And in order to make life go on, we have to go beyond the death-causing events of the life. We have to concentrate on regenerative aspect of life, because as deaths are being recorded, there are instances of birth, and we can look forward to happenings like regeneration, like rebirth, like new life taking place every now and then, and probably realizing that Ratnabali did a dance performance after a long time, in which her aim was to present her body as an extension of the art, the regenerative art.
Birth, life, and death are unavoidable. Yet I, the artist, want to return to the earth to suffer this again and again.
Ratnabali has, all through her life as an artist, had been interested in responding to great human issues and social issues. And it's mostly in agony that she had responded. It is her anguish that she had foregrounded in most of her work.
The society we are living in is suicidal. 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 When logics die, 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 when logics die.
For last several years, our country has been going through agonizing times due to violences that the country has been witnessing. Violent death of women and children, violent death of great ideas, and it is in agony that she responded to in an exhibition of performance installation that she did at Bird Academy of Calcutta in 2001. And the work she showed there, or the work she performed there, she really questioned the shedding of blood. What use it is for such shedding of blood? Instead of wasting our energy in shedding of each other's blood, we can do a lot of good thing for making life little more bearable. That was the question, that was the answer she provided in the installation performance she did at Bill Academy in 2001.
And one morning, everything burst into flames. Come see the blood along the streets. Come see the blood along the streets. Come see the blood along the streets. I come to speak for your dead mouths. Give me the struggle, the iron, the volcanoes. Let bodies cling like magnets to my body. Come quickly to my veins and to my mouth. Speak through my speech and through my blood.
Beautiful and very powerful theatre group called Players. And I request one of their leaders to tell us what this play is about.
घाट खेत नदी पहाड़ समुंदर चिड़िया।
Ratnabali's intention of integrating performative art with non-performative visual arts took different directions at different points of time, and she would leave almost no stone unturned to create a new kind of integrative language. For instance, which began as a wish to integrate not dance itself with visual non-performative visual arts, but the lessons of rhythm that she had learned through dance into non-performative visual arts. That was the intention, to get the kind of rhythm that can be created through dance into painting and sculpture. That was her intention at one point of time. But along with that, she always would be inspired by thinking about a theme of importance, and that theme of importance, mostly a social kind of cogitation, would take her to various kinds of experiment where she would weave in some kind of a suggestive narration without being illustrative. And that she successfully did when she got inspired by certain kind of tribal performative arts which she wanted to bring to the fore along with painting and sculpture. And that experiment she carried out in 1994 in a performative presentation of painting and sculpture that she did in several different places throughout the country.
कुछ दिखा? लोग नहीं जानेंगे यह। मूंद लो आंखें, मूंद लो, मूंद लो।
Now sink to your knees in shame. All dress of honor flung to the four winds. In eyes no sign of tears. The pupils unseeing the wrongs done to men.
Forgive that we are weak, and sleep the sleep of the base instincts. We pray you, strike on us the thunderbolts of self-illumination.
The sun was mine and yours. We shared it. Who's suffering behind the golden silk? Who's dying? A woman beating her dry breast cried out, "Cowards, they have taken my children and torn them to shreds." The blood was drying on a hand that a tree made green.
मेरे छोटे से रंगिया ही तेरे सुंदर सना में आही मेरे छोटे से रंगिया ही तेरे सुंदर सना में आही
Ratnabali's latest work has been a series of sculptures, paintings, wall hangings, built-up assemblages put together, and although these works can be separately seen, the works form a total theme, and this theme is a transcreation of a doha by Kabir. It's not an illustration. The works do not form illustrations to Kabir's doha, but one can call them transcreation, that is response, works created in response to Kabir's Doha. There are sculptures in various media, there are paintings.
There should be artists who should dare. It is important that there are artists who are willing to fail sometimes, not because every time success must, not because every time success cannot come to you, but that you must dare. And it is this dare to which I think this evening we are here to pay our tribute. Thank you.
When I say multifaceted, all the facets in which she is interested are, of course, visual arts. She refused to be categorized as either a sculptor or a painter or a dancer, the three disciplines in which she had a fairly good training, or even a theatre person. And all through her life, she has tried to build up bridges between all the visual arts, performative or non-performative. This building of bridge had never been a mechanical effort, because in all through her life she had foregrounded certain themes. In order to make her statement about the themes, she felt like combining different medium, and that's why she has combined different mediums, not with an idea of building bridges. That's very mechanical. But it is her intention to put forward a theme which she has felt important, socially important, personally important to her, that she wanted to put through. And while putting through the theme, whatever art came handy to her, she has practiced it, and practiced it tellingly. And that's where her success as a visual artist rests. We won't call her a painter or a sculptor or a performing artist. She is a holistic visual artist.